Module 3 Sales Process. Let us begin with Part 1 of Module 3.
हेलो, इस कोर्स के तीसरे मॉड्यूल में आपका स्वागत है। ये मॉड्यूल शुरू करने से पहले आइए जानते हैं कि अभी तक हमने क्या सीखा। पहले मॉड्यूल में हमने ऑटोमोटिव इंडस्ट्री, एक सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव का जॉब रोल और उसको मिलने वाले अवसरों के बारे में जाना। दूसरे मॉड्यूल में हमने ऑटोमोटिव इंडस्ट्री से संबंधित कुछ की कॉन्सेप्ट्स के बारे में पढ़ा जो एक सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव को पता होने चाहिए। अब इस मॉड्यूल में हम सेल्स प्रोसेस की डिटेल्स के बारे में जानेंगे। सेल्स जनरेट कैसे करते हैं, कस्टमर से कैसे मिला जाता है और उनकी जरूरतों को कैसे पहचाना जाता है, कैसे एक कार वॉक की जाती है और टेस्ट ड्राइव के समय किन बातों का ध्यान रखा जाता है, कस्टमर नेगोशिएशन और डील क्लोज कैसे होती है, और सबसे अहम कि सेल्स के बाद कस्टमर से रिलेशनशिप कैसे मेंटेन किया जाता है। ये सब हम अब सीखेंगे। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं।
Module Overview. In this module, you will learn to understand and practice good communication skills, generate sales prospects through telemarketing activities. You will learn to understand the complete sales process at an auto dealership and support allied sales activities. You will also learn other important sales concepts and understand the service cycle. At the end, you will understand the importance of building customer relationship. In Part 1, you will learn about the cycle of communication, what is effective communication, the importance of positive body language, the art of questioning, and the 7 C's of effective communication. One of the most important skills that you must master to be an effective salesperson are communication skills. In the diagram below, you will see the cycle of communication skills.
कस्टमर्स के साथ कम्युनिकेट करना सेल्स एग्जीक्यूटिव के जॉब का अहम भाग है। आइए देखते हैं क्या होता है जब आप कस्टमर्स के साथ ठीक से कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पाते हैं।
नमस्ते सर। सर, क्या आपको टेम्पो पसंद है? नहीं। सर, ये आप टेम्पो देख सकते हैं, इसके अंदर सारी लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज है और ये बहुत अच्छा चलता है सर।
ये नहीं, कुछ और अच्छा।
सर, आपको अपने दोस्तों के साथ घूमना तो पसंद होगा,
ऐसा कुछ खास
मतलब बाहर ट्रैवलिंग पे जाना?
नहीं।
सर, बाकी हम आपको वाइट कलर में कुछ और?
तो देखा आपने, कस्टमर्स के साथ यदि इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन ना किया जाए तो क्या हो सकता है। कस्टमर की ज़रूरतें समझने के लिए इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन बहुत ज़रूरी है। यदि आप ठीक तरीके से कम्युनिकेशन करते हैं तभी आप कस्टमर की पूरी मदद भी कर पाएंगे। आइए समझते हैं। अच्छे कम्युनिकेशन की मदद से प्रोडक्ट पिच करने से पहले ही आप कस्टमर को जीत सकते हैं। इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन कस्टमर के साथ नए रिश्ते बनाने के लिए और पुराने रिश्ते मजबूत करने के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है और इसका सीधा असर आपको अपनी सेल्स में भी दिखाई देगा। आइए देखते हैं कि एक कस्टमर के साथ कम्युनिकेशन कैसे किया जाता है। Hello sir, my name is Aman and you are?
My name is Jayant. I'm here to purchase a new car.
Welcome to Retake Motors, Jayant. What would you say is the primary use of your car?
I usually travel long distances, so I'd like something with a strong build and good mileage.
Yeah, I understand sir. And what do you think is a dream feature in your car?
I think I'd like something which prevents my children from opening the door while it's moving.
So something with good safety and efficiency.
Yes.
I understand, sir. So I think I might have a few models to show you. So shall we take a look? तो देखा आपने कि कस्टमर के साथ इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन कैसे किया गया। हमने कस्टमर को बोलते वक्त टोका नहीं, उनकी बातें पूरे ध्यान से सुनी। बातें सुनते वक्त न केवल उनके शब्दों पे, बल्कि उनकी टोन ऑफ वॉइस, बॉडी लैंग्वेज, फेशियल एक्सप्रेशन और अन्य संकेतों पे भी पूरा ध्यान दिया। उनकी बातें न केवल सुनी, बल्कि समझी। खुद एक गुड एंड कॉन्फिडेंट बॉडी पोस्चर रखा। कस्टमर के साथ आई कांटेक्ट और अपने चेहरे पर एक प्लेजेंट एक्सप्रेशन मेंटेन किया गया। इससे कस्टमर को यह महसूस होगा कि हम उनकी मदद करने के लिए सक्षम और उत्सुक हैं। तो अब आपको पता है कि कस्टमर के साथ इफेक्टिव कम्युनिकेशन कैसे करें। कस्टमर के साथ होने वाले सभी इंटरैक्शंस में इन सभी बातों का ध्यान रखें। अगर कस्टमर को यह महसूस होगा कि आप उनकी मदद करने के लिए उत्सुक हैं और सक्षम हैं और कस्टमर आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, तो 20 सेल्स का टारगेट आपके लिए और आसान हो जाएगा।
Here is a case study. Read through the next few slides to understand how ineffective communication can really disrupt things at various levels. We now come to the 4 aspects of communication skills, which are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Let us look at each one in detail.
हेलो, गुड मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार। हम अलग अलग परिस्थितियों में अलग अलग भाषाओं का प्रयोग करते हैं। हमारा घर पे बात करने का तरीका, दोस्तों के साथ बात करने का तरीका और ऑफिस में बात करने के तरीके में फर्क है। और इसी तरह कस्टमर से बात करने का भी एक तरीका होगा जिसका हमें ध्यान रखना है। कस्टमर से बात करते वक्त जरूरी है कि आप अच्छी लैंग्वेज और अच्छे वाक्यों का प्रयोग करें। कुछ वाक्य जैसे यू नीड टू, प्लीज पे, ऐसे वाक्य कस्टमर को यह महसूस करवाते हैं कि आप उन पर कोई जबरदस्ती कर रहे हैं, कुछ प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं। ऐसे वाक्यों का प्रयोग ना करें। इनकी बजाय वाक्य जैसे Our records show you have a balance of, we find it best when, इस तरीके के वाक्यों का प्रयोग करें। कस्टमर से बातचीत करते वक्त यदि आपकी लैंग्वेज स्किल्स सही हैं, तो कस्टमर का परचेज डिसीजन सीधा सीधा प्रभावित हो सकता है। आइए देखते हैं कस्टमर से इंटरेक्शन करते वक्त किन चीजों का ख्याल रखना है। सबसे पहले और सबसे जरूरी, कस्टमर से मिलते वक्त अपने चेहरे पर एक स्माइल रखें। कस्टमर को महसूस कराएं कि वो आपके लिए बहुत खास है। कस्टमर पे पूरा अटेंशन दें। कस्टमर के साथ केवल सकारात्मक शब्दों का प्रयोग करें, जैसे कि ये गलत है के बजाय प्रयोग करें यह सही नहीं है। अब कुछ ना करने वाली बातें, जब तक मुमकिन हो कस्टमर के साथ शेड्यूल्ड मीटिंग को डिले ना करें। अपने लैंग्वेज में किसी भी तरीके के अपशब्द का प्रयोग ना करें। कस्टमर के साथ बातचीत करते वक्त ध्यान रखें कि आप विनम्र हो। जहां भी सॉरी या थैंक यू की जरूरत हो, इन शब्दों का प्रयोग जरूर करें। अब आपको पता है कि कस्टमर के साथ बातचीत करते वक्त किन चीजों का ख्याल रखना है। अगर आपकी लैंग्वेज स्किल्स अच्छी हैं, तो आप अपने 20 सेल्स के टारगेट की तरफ एक और कदम बढ़ा लेंगे।
Listening is one of the most important aspects of effective communication. In a customer scenario, your job role is constantly customer oriented, so listening is a very important skill. As a sales executive, your job is to build rapport with the customers and provide information to them. Listening actively is a prerequisite for rapport building. To listen effectively, make sure you are focusing fully on the speaker, his or her body language, and other non-verbal cues. Avoid interrupting or trying to redirect the conversation to your own concerns. Remember that listening is not the same as waiting for your turn to talk. If you are waiting for your turn to talk, you cannot concentrate on what the other person is saying. When listening, avoid being judgmental. Show your interest in what's being said. You can nod occasionally and smile at that person. Read through the next two slides to understand an example of both effective listening and ineffective listening. Speaking skills. To speak effectively, you must know your content well. Use simple language and use examples, as customers will understand you better with the use of examples. Be aware of your body language so that it shows in your voice. Avoid using jargons, slang, and technical terms while communicating with the customer. And remember to speak clearly. Let us now look at components of speaking skills. The important components that you must keep in mind when speaking are tone, comprehension, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, body language, and rate of speech. In the next few slides, you can look at each one of these in detail. The next aspect of communication is reading. Reading refers to the specific abilities that enable a person to read with independence and interact with the message. Good reading skills help you to comprehend ideas, follow arguments, and detect implications. You can extract from the reading what is important for your particular task. As a sales executive, you need to read work orders, brochures, specification of OEMs, and others, etc., related to the job. You also need to read instructions, guidelines, procedures, and rules. There are 3 techniques to practice good reading skills: scanning, skimming, and reading for detail. Go through the next 3 slides to understand each of these techniques in detail. The last aspect of good communication is writing. Writing is a medium of communication that represents language through the inscription of signs and symbols. You will use your writing skills to write mails, reports, and communicate effectively at work. It is very crucial to have effective writing skills because often you will communicate with others through mails or written reports. For a brief writing style, omit needless words, combine sentences wherever necessary, and reframe the sentences in the best possible way. For example, instead of saying, "Our main objective is to increase sales," specifically, the objective is to double sales in the next 5 years by becoming a more successful business. You can simply say, "Our objective is to double sales in the next 5 years." To write effectively, you must plan, organize, and then write. Assemble all useful information. Determine what's important and choose what to leave out, and then group the information logically. Effective writing enables you to record complete and correct customer discussions in the CRM. It helps you to formulate correct sentences without any grammatical errors. And you can record precise and clear information for analysis or action by other departments. Since a large part of the writing communication is done through emails, go through the next few slides to understand how to make your emails much more effective. Let us now see what makes communication effective. As per the Mehrabian principle, 93% of our communication comes from the non-verbal aspect. That is, 55% from body language and 38% from voice. And only 7% is what you say. Now that we know that words account for only 7% of importance in a conversation, we should really focus on the remaining 93% in depth. Most sales executives get stuck to finding the right words and ignore the more important non-verbal aspect of communication. By focusing on the non-verbal, you can do a better job of communicating. To make any communication effective, 4 things are important: voice or how you speak, body language, how to have a positive and open body language, listening, how do you listen for understanding, and finally probing, how do you question to uncover needs. We have already discussed how to speak and how to listen for understanding. Let us now focus on body language and the art of questioning. Body language means communicating through the body posture, gestures, facial expressions, tone of voice, eye contact, and even your muscle tension and breathing. The way you look, listen, move, and react to another person tells them more about how you're feeling than words alone ever can. Body language must be in sync with your words, otherwise, it will confuse the customer. A positive body language is important in supporting your words and ensuring that your message is understood correctly. As a sales executive, you need to interpret customers' nonverbal signals. Use nonverbal communication to improve your selling effectiveness. Remember, it's hard to interpret nonverbal signals by observing a single gesture or body position. You need to consider the pattern of signals a customer generates to interpret the person's feelings. Go through these next 2 slides to understand patterns of nonverbal communications. Now that we have seen patterns of nonverbal communication, you know that to have positive body language, you must use cooperation signals to indicate a sincere interest in helping customers satisfy their needs. Avoid power signals. They intimidate the customer and makes them feel uncomfortable. Remember, nothing creates rapport like a smile. Make sure your smile is natural and comfortable and not a smirk or an exaggerated grin. Direct eye contact reflects sincerity. Glancing from side to side or at a wall has an opposite effect, and staring can make them feel uncomfortable. Hand movements can also have a dramatic effect. Pointing a finger can be used to reinforce important points in the presentation. However, too many hand gestures will distract the attention of the customer. Good voice and speech habits are critical. To avoid monotony in your presentation, you should vary the rate and loudness of your speech. Simple messages may be delivered faster than more complex messages. The art of questioning. Questioning is fundamental to successful communication. We all ask and are asked questions when we engage in a conversation. Let us first understand that why do we need to ask questions? We ask questions to obtain information, to help maintain control of a conversation, to express an interest in something, to clarify a point, to explore something, to test knowledge, and to encourage further thought. There are two types of questions: open-ended questions, which give room for thought and elaborate answers. For example, tell me about yourself. This is an example of an open-ended question trying to get maximum information. The second type are closed-ended questions, which usually result in a one-word answer like a yes or no, or some facts. For example, would you like to have a cup of coffee? The answer will be either yes or no. In the infographic below, you can see the difference between open-ended questions and closed-ended questions. Asking questions leads us to do effective probing with customers. Probing allows you to extract the exact information which is required. Most of the probing questions are of how, why, and what category. However, this is not an exhaustive list. There are 4 varieties of probing questions. Open questions. Asking questions that are open reveals abundant information. Pause. Talking continuously is not a good idea. A pause can act as a probe, an indicator that says, "Tell me more." Paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is a type of probe to reconfirm and provide options. For example, "Sir, if my understanding is right, you would love to own this product if the cost can be subsidized." The expected answer could be a yes or no in this case. And fourthly, reflective questions, a consolidated question that is asked for assurance. For example, "Ma'am, you would like your vehicle to be picked up from ABC on the 21st day of June. You want the engine, tires, and mirrors to be double-checked, and you want the delivery of your vehicle at your residence, which is QQR. Hope that I have understood the request correctly." Let us now look at the 7 C's framework of effective communication. The 7 C's of communication are helpful. The 7 C's provide a checklist for making sure that your communication in every form, that is one-on-one meetings, emails, presentations, etc., are clear to your customers and they get the message. Let us look at the 7 C's one by one. Clear. When writing or speaking to someone, be clear about your goal or message. What is the purpose of this communication? Concise. When you're concise in your communication, you stick to the point and keep it brief. Read through the slide to understand this better. Concrete. When your message is concrete, then your audience has a clear picture of what you're telling them. Go through the example given below to understand this better. Correct. When your communication is correct, it fits your audience. Correct communication is also error-free communication. Read through this slide and understand the example. Coherent. When your communication is coherent, it is logical. All the points are connected and relevant to the main topic, and the tone and the flow of text is consistent. Go through the slide to understand the example of coherency. Complete. Your message should be complete. Make sure the audience has everything they need to be informed, and if applicable, take action. Read through the slide to understand this concept better. Courteous. Courteous communication is friendly, open, and honest. There are no hidden insults or passive-aggressive tones. You keep your customer's viewpoint in mind and you're empathetic to their needs. For example, be aware of the importance of your voice and tone in conveying a friendly personality. In the next 2 slides, let us look at some tips for effective communication. For your communication to be effective, remember to stay focused, detect emotions, ask questions, do not interrupt, and do not preempt. Recap the customer or speaker's version. Keep a notepad and pen ready to write down anything that seems important. Clear barriers of listening like external noises, colleagues giggling around, etc. And remember to use the 7 C's of communication as a checklist for all your communication. By doing this, you'll stay clear, concise, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous. For being with us, I hope you enjoyed this presentation on communication skills, and all the best. Thank you, and all the best.